Everyone, welcome to this show. So I have another blast from the past for you. If you've been with the show for a while, if you've been following me for a while, you guys are going to remember this case. I'm going to give you a heads up. Bottom line, not going to be good news. But anyway, this involves the 2020 election fraud conspiracy. And this was a case related to that conspiracy theory. So I'm going to share that with you. It involves a man being held at gunpoint and a wealthy donor. So could be just about any of them. kind of kind of saying that in jest, but you get the point. So before I get into this update, do me a huge favor, click the subscribe button below. It is free for you. It really helps the show out. I really appreciate it. And for everyone who leaves one-time donations, who donates monthly, you are the backbone of this channel. Seriously. So I greatly appreciate all of you. So here is the latest in this story that, like I said, you're likely to remember. So back in October of 2020, an AC repairman, a guy named David Lopez, he's driving down a Texas road. All of a sudden, someone rear ends him. Okay, this person turns out to be a former Houston police captain named Mark Aguirre. So he allegedly rear-ended Lopez, right? Lopez pulls over. He is expecting, I'm going to assess the damage. We'll exchange insurance information. Be good to go. I'm on my way. Instead, Lopez says that Aguirre pulled a gun on him and ordered him to get on the ground. He then calls the police, meaning this former police captain calls the police. When they arrive, he tells them, hey, this guy has fake ballots in the back of his van. So the police open the back of Lopez's van. They search it for supposedly thousands of illegitimate ballots. Of course, they find nothing. The police then go to Lopez's home and they search there because Aguirre is, again, former police captain, and he is asserting this guy is a quote unquote mule. We all know about the 2000 Mules film, that fantasy fiction, laughable, I guess not a rom-com, but just a flat out comedy, as it ended up being. But anyway, as you could probably guess, they also found no fraudulent ballots, nothing at this guy's house. So the impetus for this alleged attack, as you all know, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump's months-long lie and his allies' lie that the election was being stolen from him. He saw the polls. He knew he was losing to Biden. He knew that he faced criminal charges for his own numerous crimes, alleged crimes, and some real crimes, right? So he and his minions lied to, these Q-loon followers of his and claimed that the Democrats were paying people to complete and haul illegal ballots around. So it came out later that this Aguirre, he wasn't working on his own. He didn't just come out of nowhere and decide to follow this AC repairman and do this on his own. He was hired by and paid by a wealthy Republican donor and activist, a guy named Steve Hotze. So Hotze pays him not to ram the guy's van, though. He pays him, by all accounts, to conduct an investigation into what we knew to be Donald Trump's bogus election fraud claims. So charges were filed against both of them. Initially, it was just Aguirre, but then once it came out that he was on the payroll of this Hotze guy, they file charges against him. Aguirre was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which was the gun, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, again, which was the vehicle, unlawful restraint causing serious bodily injury, aggravated robbery, and engaging in organized crime. Also aggravated assault with a firearm. Hotze was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, unlawful restraint, aggravated robbery, and engaging in organized crime, also aggravated assault with a firearm. So this case has dragged on. These people were identified, these charges were brought almost immediately. They were charged in 2021. Since that time, a new district attorney took over. This district attorney appears to be a MAGA sympathizer because most of the charges have now been dropped. So I'll be honest with you guys. I thought some of the specific charges against Hotze were a reach, right? He wasn't there. He didn't pull the gun on the guy. There hasn't, to my knowledge, been any evidence that's been brought forth to show that he told Aguirre to attack this man, to attack allegedly to attack the AC repairman's truck, to hold him at gunpoint. Like, there's nothing tying him to that as far as I know. But the charges against Aguirre, they definitely appear to be legitimate, especially since he's, as I've mentioned multiple times, he's a former police officer. So he knew that what he was doing was not legal. In any case, all of the charges against Hotze have been dropped, and then there are now only 2 charges still pending against Aguirre. Attorney Dickie Grigg is now representing the alleged victim in this case, Mr. Lopez, or I guess he has been for a while. He said what they're planning to do is, along with these 2 criminal charges that are going to move forward, they're also going to bring a civil case against both of these men. So against both Hotze and Aguirre. So again, the criminal case will move forward with those 2 charges, and then he will file, or has already filed, a civil suit. The attorney told ABC News, quote, "This is the only way the public will learn what really happened. Now that the criminal cases have been dismissed, he's going to get his day in court. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know that the people that were doing it to him. You can believe whatever you want in America, but when you act on those beliefs in a way that harms innocent people, there must be accountability." So let's hope that Lopez does receive some sort of justice. I mean, Aguirre allegedly terrorized this poor man. I mean, can you imagine? Like, you just get rear-ended, and you're like, oh God, now got to deal with this headache, right? Explain this to my employer that this wasn't my fault, and now I'm going to have the truck fixed, and you're stressed out about that. And then you get a gun pulled on you, allegedly. It is too bad that he can't hold Trump accountable. He incited this whole thing. He incited exactly this kind of lunacy. We saw it building and building and building. So was it really a shock when all those psychos attacked the Capitol on January 6th? Not really. I mean, we saw what happened with the Trump train down in Texas, where they surrounded the Biden bus. And, we're driving in a way that was very dangerous, slowing them down to like 30 miles an hour, almost hitting the truck or almost hitting the bus, and then a truck hit one of the vehicles that was with the bus, that was with the Biden-Harris team. Nothing happened to them. Nothing happened. They got almost a complete pass. One guy, the guy who hit the vehicle that I was just talking about, he got a little bit of a slap on the wrist. Nothing major. We saw all of this building, the threats against attorneys general, the threats against election officials, the threats against election workers. We saw people standing outside of drop boxes with guns. It was inevitable that there was going to be violence, that people were going to die. And that is 100% on Donald Trump and on his supporters for making up these stories, for lying about the election, and getting his base, which many of them are already unstable, getting them all worked up and like winding them up like little toy soldiers and then setting them in motion. So we'll see what happens here. I don't have any faith after what happened with that Trump train case and them surrounding the Biden bus and then all of them just getting to walk. I don't have any faith in the people in Texas. Sorry. I know there's a lot of good people in Texas. I know there's a lot of Democrats. Unfortunately, all it takes is one. All it takes is one juror to tank everything. So, do I think this guy is going to be held to account? I don't have a lot of faith in it. All right, guys, I will let you know when I hear more on this. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe if you have not. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.